Okay, let's talk about how to use Kami to annotate documents. So here's a sample assignment that one might see for notes number 12, Lewis structures. It's a good idea, by the way, too. You can, if you're given a PowerPoint to copy down, you can open another window using the zip extractor or the print function or the open in a new window function, or you can print it to have it on paper in front of you, whatever it takes to get it separately. It does make it nice for when you're trying to get it copied into the notes handout. Now, should you ever see something like this, a PDF and then PDF via Kami, choose the via Kami option. Click on it and then open with Kami. So you should not be having to copy and paste anything in order to get to Kami, because some people have been trying to build these documents from scratch. You don't want to do that. By the way, if that doesn't work when you click on this, like this open with Kami, it means you need to clear your browsing history. So that means you go to settings and then privacy and security, clear browsing data, making sure that it's for all time, go to advanced and make sure you've selected all boxes. So anyway, that mentioned, you open with Kami. I clicked that and got here after I clicked open with Kami. Then what you can do is you can take advantage of things such as text box. You can choose your font size and your color, and you can type into these things right here. Like, for example, valence electrons are electrons in the outermost energy level, and you can adjust its location, you can adjust the font, you can adjust the size, etc. You've got a lot of options. Once you've done that, you can click away from it. It's still editable, but you can click away from it to go do your next thing. And they can do that for all the rest of these things too. That includes, like, for example, here, label how many valence electrons. You can, like, type a 1 away from it where it's easy to see, and then you can have like an arrow pointing to the thing that is 1 valence electron. So that gives an example of the sort of possibilities you've got. You have equations, and you can type advanced symbols. You can type chemical formulas. Probably the easiest way to type a chemical formula, like, for example, CO2 is well, just type it out and then take advantage of this menu you got up here, CO2. There you go. That's how you type a chemical formula. Same thing with charges. Say NH4 with a 1 plus charge. Oops, let's make that a 4. We can make that a subscript, and we can make this a superscript. So it just gives you an idea of the sort of things that one can do. I'll delete that. I will delete that in order to make it go away. But you'll notice this toolbar up here gives you a lot of options you can do, including advanced functions like chemical formulas and such. Okay, so having mentioned those tools, what about drawing? I want to show you guys what drawing looks like. So what if you wanted to draw one of these or one of these or one of these or something else? Or maybe let's do, for an example, the correct version of this. And I'll do it here just because I've got more space to do it here. Let me show you how you do that. So we're going to do a correct formula for CO2. So let's make this nice and big. Let's go up to size like 36 or maybe 30. Yeah, whatever works for you. And then we'll do, let's change that over to black colored font, just because it looks better that way. Why not? So a carbon, and then an oxygen, and then another oxygen, and we'll kind of line them up so that we can draw our structure. And then what you do is, okay, you click away in order to kind of like satisfy yourself that everything's in the right spot. And then what do? Well, you go to the drawing option, and that'll allow you to freehand draw whatever shape, or you can go to predefined shapes, and then you got rectangles, ellipses, or circles, or hollow circles, or in triangles, or lines. Lines are kind of convenient to represent the bonds. You could hand draw the bonds too, but say that little 90 degrees right there, it tells you it's straight, and when it's not 90 degrees, it tells you it's not straight. So you can make it straight, and then this allows you to draw bonds. And this particular example has a double bonding in the structure, so that's why it looks like this. And I think that's a little out of line. So if I decide I don't like it, I just press Control Z and it removes it, and I can try again and get something I'm a little happier with. Now for the dots, I have seen some people try to do these little things, and that does work. It can be a pain in the butt to make a lot of those. So I'm going to Control Z, and instead I'm just going to go to Drawing, make it a stroke thickness of about 4 looks good, and just tap where I want the dots to be. So maybe one there and one there. And if I don't like that where it was, I just Control Z and then maybe put it where I want it to be. And then that gives you options for when you're working on it. You can get it the way you like it. And obviously no one's expecting perfection, but a certain degree of correctness is expected. And so if something falls short of that, you can always adjust it. So anyway, there's an example right there, and that is the complete correct structure of CO2, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like and how you would do it. So that being what it is, that's the basics of it, of how you do this. And I suppose the last thing I can point out is you can use the select tool to select whatever things you want to like move around. For example, if you decide you want to move a shape, or you decide you want to move a dot or a letter or something like that. You can also, if you decide you want to highlight a key idea, that select tool looks similar to and compatible with the markup tool. So you can use this markup tool to highlight, and you can choose whichever color you want for your highlighting. Say maybe a key idea that you wish to highlight in something, or a question you're not sure about on a worksheet. You can highlight it and change the color and make it whatever color you decide is proper for it. So you can always, by the way, if you want to undo a highlight, you can always just Control Z and it'll undo the highlight. And then you can highlight in a different color as you so choose or prefer. You also got this undo option up here. As you go through, and especially once you're done, it does automatically save, but if you want to be sure, you just click the save icon right there. And then at that point, when you're done, you can take advantage of certain things, like there is the possibility of sharing, yes, with the original with the annotations, but you can also download it to either your computer or Google Drive to make sure that it's available later. And that's going to include, you can do it with the original with nothing, or the annotations, which is all the text and pictures that you drew. If you choose this flatten annotations, it'll make it load faster. Though if you don't flatten it, it's fine. It won't really change much. And then you can export it. That said, as you do this, it is saving your changes to the file, so that even if you were to exit this out, it's saving these changes to your version of the file, so that anytime you go to it, here, let's refresh, it should still be there. And if for some reason it were to not show it, and it may be a little different for me because I'm looking at this from the teacher point of view, but you should see the stuff that you did there, so that when you go to turn it in, the stuff you did should be there. All right, so that's a nice little overview, and hopefully that takes care of it. Thank you for your attention.